there are patterns that we see in the market. Like there's very often there are 3 tops on the McClellan oscillator to finish out a structure, either tops or 3 bottoms, and so we can identify those. In 1987, we had, in the summer of '87, we had 3 very well-defined tops on the summation index, and I wrote, Kennedy Gamage was writing a letter, and I sent him a letter and said, we have a very well-defined top ahead. This is going to be a very dangerous market. And of course it was. We had wound up with a crash of '87. We didn't know it was going to be a crash. We knew it was going to be a very dangerous market in '87 because of the structure of what we saw with 3 tops on the summation index.
For people that are not so familiar with the McClellan oscillator, can you tell us a little bit about how it works? What are actually the signals that you can take trades on? Is it just crossing of the zero line, or divergences, or oversold?
The oscillator goes back and forth across zero, and when it's above zero, it's generally a positive condition, which is what is going on now in late May of 2026. And when it crosses back down below zero, it'll be a problem. And we expect that will happen sometime very shortly.
The McClellan oscillator is calculated as the difference between 2 exponential moving averages of the daily difference between advances and declines. So you're looking at daily breadth, you're smoothing out with 2 different speeds of exponential moving averages, and it's that difference between those 2 moving averages that is the McClellan oscillator, and that's where you get the indication of acceleration. So a positive reading means that acceleration is upward, a negative reading means that acceleration is downward. And you can get to extremes of those, but the extremes mean different things. Usually an extremely high positive McClellan oscillator reading is a strong sign of initiation, whereas an extremely low McClellan oscillator reading is a sign of conclusion. And that has to do with that arcing tennis ball bounce. You get the highest reading when you're first accelerating upward, and that's at the initiation of a rally. You get the most extreme downward acceleration at the very end, right before the bottom.